Alrighty, so they released the dev notes, and obviously they released them while I was sleeping because they released them really early in the morning. So sorry for the late sort of dev notes video, but it is what it is. This section up here, I just read it a second ago. Basically, they're just saying like, hey, hopefully you guys enjoy the 1.5 year anniversary for Global. Hope everyone's doing well, pretty much. So these are the things that they are going to be adding or talking about in the new dev notes, which is kind of interesting. So we have the new demonic beast battles, which I think are a new form of PvE content that are supposed to be like end game content, like for, you know, veteran players, I guess, to enjoy, which sounds pretty cool, sounds pretty interesting. I just hope that it's not like artificial difficulty where it's just like super tedious and annoying stuff. I don't know, that I feel like that's not really like fun. It's just kind of like annoying to do. But we'll have to kind of see on that. They are improving Knighthood boss battles, Training Grotto, final boss battles, and Tower of Trials and quality of life. So that should be kind of nice. Honestly, all of those things could probably use a little bit of updating. Especially Training Grotto, in my opinion. Like, these have been around for a really long time, and I don't know, they're just kind of tedious. They're just not really all that fun to do anymore. But they're a really good source of stuff, so you kind of want to do them. Future update is Faction Wars, which looks pretty interesting. It kind of looks like it's going to be different factions as far as like demons, giants, fairies, etc. Like, I guess competing over different areas, which is kind of neat. I think that sounds pretty interesting. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop into each of their like sort of bullet points and go over it. So Ragnarok Chapter 2 update and new PvE content, demonic beast battles. You may be wondering if we are speaking about of Demonic Beast Howlix, but that is not the case. Demonic Beast Battle is a completely new type of PvE content based on the world of Ragnarok, featuring powerful enemies with special abilities. Demonic Beast Battles are different from existing boss battles in that each stage consists of 3 or more phases, each phase randomly changing the beast's Demonic Beast attribute. You must form a team of heroes that is most suited to the Demonic Beast changing features and strategize to maximize each hero's effectiveness. So that sounds really interesting. Kind of like with the Croc boss or whatever, like when he would shift phases, he would become a different attribute, which is kind of cool. I think that's kind of neat, honestly. Demonic Beast becomes stronger as you progress through the stages. Hero HP remains the same when progressing to the next stage, so it is vital to manage the party's HP. So that means you're probably going to want to have somebody to either heal, or you're going to have to bring in like a really tanky team, I would assume. The Demonic Beast battles are ultra challenging content. Team composition and use of skills effectively against the Demonic Beasts are paramount, rather than the raw performance of each hero. Items acquired exclusively from Demonic Beast battles will be used in a new crafting system, which we will describe below. Demonic Beast battle content will always be available, and it will always be added regularly to inspire new strategies. Okay, so it seems like they're just kind of coming up with something a little bit more consistent, maybe. I know in the past for like final bosses and stuff like that, for example, they do like a final boss and then they end up waiting a while, or they end up doubling up and they'll bring a new one out as soon as another one leaves, or this or that, or, you know, it was very inconsistent with the timing and the schedule of, you know, final bosses and stuff like that. So I think this is just going to be a new sort of PvE game mode that is going to be added to the game. You'll be able to do it anytime, and it should be consistently updated, I think. So that way we have different sorts of strategies, I guess, and fun with it, I guess. I don't know. With powerful demonic beasts come new powerful items, holy relics, and the new crafting system. Okay, so this could be very good or very bad. A new crafting system will be added to the game along with the demonic beast battle update, which introduces a new type of equipable item, holy relics. Okay. So before I go any further, I'm not completely a fan of more equipable items, just because the game is already kind of tedious in that regard. So unless it's something very broad scale, kind of like the artifact cards, or you can just equip it to a team or something along those lines, or it's something you don't really have to worry about too much. I don't want this to be something that you're gonna need to like grind out and just feel like it's a chore. So I don't know, hopefully that's in their minds when they do stuff like this. Holy relics are powerful objects which only exist in the world of Ragnarok. You will be able to craft them using materials acquired from the demonic beast battles. Holy relics can be applied to hero groups that share the same costumes. Equipping them increases basic stats and grants special buffs. Craftable holy relics and corresponding heroes will be regularly added to the game throughout updates. Can be applied to hero groups that share the same costumes. So I guess it's going to be like hero specific. Like, for example, Lostvayne Meliodas has the red festival Lostvayne and the new blue Ragnarok Lostvayne. I would assume they would be like, hey, here is a relic for Lostvayne Meliodas, and you would equip it to both of those characters, and it would increase their basic stats and grant special buffs. So that's pretty interesting. I'm not hating on that. It seems, at least it's a little bit broad. It's not something that you're going to have to worry about grinding out for every single hero, I guess. I guess we'll just have to see how hard it is to get them and like how tough it is to craft them, etc. And which heroes they come out with them for first. Because if they're not going to release the entire game's worth of characters, holy relics, all at one time when they first drop this feature, then it could be just something like, hey, whenever they add a holy relic for a specific character set, like, you know, like old Merlin, the new Merlin uses her own costumes, so like old Merlin, there's a bunch of old Merlins that use the same cosmetic sets and stuff like that. If you wanted that Merlin's thing whenever it comes out, you can be like, hey, this just came out, I'll grind it out, do whatever I need to do to get it, so that way I don't have to worry about it in the future. Maybe I think that would be kind of okay. I don't know, we'll just have to kind of see how they execute this and roll it out to the game, but it sounds interesting. I'm not hating on it so far. Knighthood Competition optional direction. Okay, this one's a little long. The current Knighthood competition runs on a monthly basis, divided into elite and regular seasons. The regular season is currently being monitored as a beta for quality management and balance optimizations. The Knighthood competition is a game mode where many knights cooperate and communicate with one another. We are aware of the pressures put on Knighthood members, especially in elite Knighthood competition, stemming from securing participation rights, base settings, and 3 battle stages. Okay. The elite season schedule was condensed with the addition of the Knighthood competition regular season, and many Knighthoods have voiced their concerns regarding the pressure of competing in both elite and regular season competitions within a month. This pressure is magnified when the seasons overlap with Fight Festival seasons. We have taken note of this as well. So it sounds like people were having issues with running Knighthood or like Guild Wars maybe, while other sort of like big events and stuff like that were going on, because like I would assume if you're in the elite season, you're probably like a top guild, and you would want to focus on one thing at a time. And if you have this going on, if you have like Guild Wars going on at the same time that there's like a big Fight Festival season, I guess, you would be spread too thin and you'd be worried about 2 different things at one time, which can be kind of annoying. So I guess that's interesting. In order to improve on these aspects, we plan to add downtime between the elite and regular competitions. The new cycle will be once every 2 months or twice every 3 months. The regular season competition, where many Knighthoods can participate, will happen every month, but we'll adjust the schedule so it does not happen right after an elite season. Okay. The current competition operation method is being discussed by the dev team. We plan to apply these changes after the competitions in October. Okay, so they'll go into effect in October, or after October maybe. In addition, the elite season competition is elevated to a major competition content. We plan to improve the rewards to a suitable level, as well as administer additional rewards. So this is honestly like a big thing in the game right now, is like some of the stuff that you can really grind for and go towards don't really have like suitable rewards for them. Like unless you're like in the top 3 of everything, you really don't get compensated very well for like actually trying in a lot of those modes. So I think if they would take this sort of mentality towards other game modes as well, like PvP and etc., they would probably get a lot more people trying in a lot of game modes. So as it stands, we also determine that the battle balance of the Elite Season competition requires adjustments. With the release of high performance heroes since the first Elite Season competition update, manually controlled assault teams have gained the upper hand, frequently resulting in a tie when both sides have destroyed all bases. To solve this problem, we are discussing changes to the battle balance and base buffs for the Elite Season competition, and we are preparing to apply them together with the operation schedule changes. So basically what they're saying is we released some really good characters that people are using way more than regular sort of characters, so they have to balance for that, which is a no-brainer. Anyway, moving past that, future content update plans. Lastly, we would like to inform you about the current content update direction, which many knights are most curious about. The 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross has been providing a fun experience to all knights with a variety of gameplay content, including Fort Solgris and our final boss battles. However, as time passes, the purpose of playing some content is fading, or their fun factor is decreasing. Okay, so that's pretty true. As heroes are added and become stronger, we believe that the composition and purpose of the main content needs to be changed accordingly, and we plan to improve existing content within the year. Okay, that's a no-brainer. There are really strong characters now. Tier 6 of Super Awakening unlocked. Oh boy. Tier 5 has been the highest available tier in Super Awakening since the April update. We are planning on unlocking Tier 6, the final tier, in late September or early October through an update. So my big thing with this is the game still has a decent amount of lifespan left, and if they go ahead and release Tier 6 of Super Awakening, at some point, to continue balancing characters, they're probably going to come out with a new form of Super Awakening where it's going to be a different colored star or some other sort of, buff or something that they're going to release that you'll have to end up grinding out. Because, eventually, even with Tier 6 coming out, later on down the road, things are going to become unbalanced again with certain characters, and, I don't know. I just... the fact that this is like we're getting to Tier 6 and that's the last tier of it, I just hope that they're either going to release just like balancing updates that will balance certain characters and buff stats or something like that without us having to do stuff, because already the Super Awakening in the game is pretty tedious, and if you can't get the materials required for it, for like a lot of your characters and stuff like that, it's just really annoying to have to deal with, and there's so many materials and stuff that you have to put into each and every character in the game right now that, like, if Super Awakening is finished and they just come out with some new thing that you have to buff on the characters, then it's just going to be, it's just going to add more tedious aspects to it, and there's just going to be so much stuff that you have to do to one character every time they get released to the game. It's just, I don't know. I don't want it to get out of hand is what I'm saying. To ease your burden on collecting enhancement materials due to the added tier, 100 free Super Awakening coins will be given to all knights on the day of the Tier 6 unlock update. So that's the same thing that they did with Tier 5. That's pretty nice, honestly. I think that they should probably go a little higher than 100. Like, I know that 100 sounds like a lot, but I'm sure Tier 6 is going to cost more than Tier 5. So I think to compensate for that, like, depending on how many characters, say 100 coins helped you Super Awaken 5 characters, or 6 characters or whatever like that when Tier 5 came out. With Tier 6, it's probably going to be more expensive, so I think they should compensate for that and maybe add like 150 or maybe a little less than that. I don't know exactly how much it's going to cost, but obviously each tier costs more. So that seems a little weird that they're just still adding 100, but I mean, it's free either way, so I guess I'll take it, whatever. Knighthood boss battle improvements. First, we are introducing a higher difficulty mode for Knighthood boss battles and improve score methods and rewards. Rather than the player repeat gameplay to obtain fixed rewards, we are aiming for improvement in the form of more efficient play and reward acquisition from clearing the higher difficulty levels. So maybe what they're saying by this is that the new difficulty level will give you much more score, and that will in turn make it to where you don't have to just like run the lower difficulties over and over again to try to maintain a decent score, so that way you get all the rewards. I kind of hope that's how they're coming off with this, because currently at the moment, like, if you don't have like a really good team setup, or you just don't know who to use whenever a certain Knighthood boss comes around, it can be really, really tedious to just try and get like the 6,000 points it takes to get all of the rewards at the moment. I know that there are, whaling teams and stuff like that with like crazy maxed out characters that can do insane damage and get you like tons and tons of score on just the 3 difficulties that we have now, but not everybody can take advantage of those kind of things. So I do kind of hope that the new difficulty, not only will it just be like extra score that you can sort of add to the other 3 difficulties that will hopefully help you meet those rewards, but hopefully, I don't know, I mean, it would honestly be pretty nice to just run the newest difficulty and maybe like the one below it or something and just get what you need out of it, because I personally don't go for like insanely high scores on Knighthood boss. I just basically do it for those 6,000 point rewards, because our Knighthood is a lot more laid back. I can understand like the need or the want to, if you're like a higher tier guild, trying to like get everybody to like max out their scores and stuff like that, so that way you can get better rewards or whatever it be for Knighthoods at the end of the week or whatever. But I don't know, personally not for me. Hopefully this just makes it a little bit easier to do Knighthood each week, but I don't know, we'll have to see how it ends up turning out when it comes out. Training Grotto improvements. So this was the one that I was the most interested in. I think I went ahead and read over this earlier, but it's pretty vague, to be honest. So unfortunate. Next are improvements in the direction related to the Training Grotto, which is the main source of resources used to strengthen equipment, which is very true. It's pretty much the number one place where you get engraving stones to make UR gear. The Training Grotto is a must-play game mode, but due to the various restrictions, many knights feel reluctant to play it. We are planning to improve the accessibility and efficiency of item acquisition through the current Training Grotto, and we will provide detailed information on the improvements through a dev note in the future. So I don't think that they're super ready on like figuring out what exactly they're doing for this just yet, but it seems like they're going to try to make it to where you get more rewards, I guess, by doing it, which I think that would be really good. But yeah, it is kind of tedious at the moment. It's ungeared, so some of the battles can take a while. I mean, I don't know. You could probably, if you really broke it down and looked at every single fight, you could probably optimize and make a really good team for every single situation and beat them a lot faster. But with, having to do it every single week and stuff like that, like it gets kind of boring doing it in general, and you pretty much need to do it if you want to get engraving stones to make UR gear for characters, etc. So I don't know. This honestly is one of the game modes that I dread doing every week, but I still do it because it's really worth doing. So I do hope that they make this a little bit more either fun or a little bit better for rewards, so it doesn't feel so like daunting, I guess. Final boss improvements is the next one. Final boss battles were introduced as a content that required strategy to clear, but as updates have continued, the strategies have become simplified and the store rewards standardized. We realize that the content feels like a chore that must be completed to acquire heroes' final boss costumes. More seasons made only certain heroes viable for high scores. We intend for various heroes to be viable, but that is not the case. Accordingly, the upcoming final boss Zeldris and Estarossa will be the last season before improvements are made. After this season, we plan to improve final boss battles to be more in line with what we intended, making each battle more fun. We also plan to make it so rewards are available to be acquired immediately after the end of each boss or each battle, based on gameplay results, making it a more meaningful game mode. So I wonder if they're going to take out like the point rewards and make it to where it's like challenge based, where you have to complete a challenge to get X reward or whatever the case may be there. I think that sounds really interesting, but I don't know. Honestly, like, I don't hate the way that it is now. Some of it is very, very easy. And obviously, the way that the characters have sort of gotten out of hand lately with them, releasing characters that can, solo content by themselves, it's obviously going to be a little unbalanced. Like, if you have newer characters, a lot of the times they can end up running content and stuff like that very easily compared to other characters, etc. And I understand that they want, a variety of characters being used for this kind of stuff. Like, that would make sense. But I don't know. I think that as they do this, like, hopefully they make it actually like fun sort of challenges and stuff to do. Like, my biggest thing is that I don't want content to be tedious, but then again, I know that there's not a whole lot of, different stuff that they can do to a specific game mode without making it a little like annoying to play, I guess. Like, especially if you have to run something over and over again, it's going to get tedious and it's going to get annoying to run it, back to back to back. So, I don't know. Hopefully they can come up with something that's a little bit more, fun. So yeah, that's kind of cool though. I mean, with this being the last one with the Zeldris and Estarossa, I do like their outfits a lot, and I don't know, it'll be interesting to see who they want to do final bosses for next. I'm assuming maybe the Archangels or some of the Holy Knights or something like that. I don't know. There are a lot of characters, by the way, that are still missing cosmetics. So, like, if they did like some older characters that still are missing cosmetics, that would be kind of nice. But hey, whatever. Tower of Trial rewards and quality of life changes. So this is really good stuff that I'm interested in, actually. After changing the Tower of Trials from seasonal content to the tower type content with accumulating stages, the rewards became limited and the monthly update volume was reduced. Many knights have voiced concern that they see no purpose in playing the game mode. The update volume of Tower of Trials will remain the same so that at least 3 floors can be provided regularly. However, in order to increase the motivation to consistently clear additional stages, we plan to reset all stage rewards at times to allow knights to acquire them again by completing previously cleared stages. Okay. The Tower of Trials reward reset schedule will be provided well in advance through a notice. Okay, so this is actually really nice. So honestly, the biggest thing that's wrong with the Tower of Trials currently is that, they normally add like 1 floor like a month probably, and it's normally like, okay, here's like, a decent amount of rewards, but the fact that you're only getting it like once a month really doesn't mean a whole lot to you. So the fact that they're going to be trying to add at least 3 floors per update, which are not update, but 3 floors a month, I would assume, or like regularly, I don't know when their actual schedule for that is going to be, is really nice, because like, 3 floors is actually worth doing compared to just doing 1 floor every month. And the fact that they're planning on doing like scheduled resets for the entire tower is honestly pretty nice, because some of the, once we have like 12 floors, like I think we'll have 9 floors currently whenever we get the next 3 that JP has right now. If they reset all of those and you can run back through them pretty easily because the gimmicks are already known at this point, like it's not hard for you to figure them out. You can get all of those rewards again all at one time, which could add up and actually be worth doing. So I think that's really nice. They've kind of stressed with each update to the floors that, the content is not resetting, and the fact that they're going to be adding a scheduled reset is actually very, very nice. So I think that is definitely a step in the right direction. Plus, like, regularly, I guess, if you're not worried about doing like 1 or 2 floors at a time or whatever, you can kind of wait for them to accumulate maybe before a reset or whatever the case may be. So I think that's kind of nice. I'm not hating on that one. In addition, we plan to rectify current issues and improve UI accessibility for more enjoyable gameplay content within the 4th quarter. Along with the content improvements, we will also release the new content we have planned for this year. Oh, okay. I don't know what UI improvements they need to add specifically, but hopefully they're good. And then lastly, we have Faction Wars. So I'm really interested in this. We are currently planning a cooperative game mode. Faction Wars, working title. Based on the main battles of the original Seven Deadly Sins IP, you will be able to select one of 2 factions and clear battle content exclusive to the chosen faction. The contribution points from the battles will be added to the faction's score. The faction with more points will emerge victorious. The more battles you win, the more faction points you can contribute. We are planning on providing exclusive rewards based on contribution points. Our current plan is to make Faction Wars regular event-type content. This dev note has been about new game modes and the coming updates and plans to improve various types of content in the future. We will do our best to provide more details regarding new content in the in the next dev notes. We sincerely thank all Knights for playing the game. Please enjoy the upcoming 1.5 year anniversary Holy War Festival. So it seems like Faction Wars is probably going to be something split between, like, you pick either the side of the angels or the demons, and you sort of do PvE like related stuff to fight teams, and you gain points, or like depending on whether you win or not. And I guess the participation of, you know, both sides is going to be a factor, and then at the end of it, whenever they do, I don't know, like whenever they finish the season for it or whatever, whichever side has more reward or like more points will get rewards and stuff. So I think that's really interesting. I think that sounds like a pretty cool game mode, honestly. You know, honestly, just any new kind of game modes and stuff like that would be appreciated, because the game is kind of stale at the moment. Like, I mean, I think they really haven't added anything super cool or crazy in a long time. So, you know, I think everybody's kind of gotten used to the content that we already have. So I think that's honestly pretty nice. This was a pretty decent dev note. I think it was pretty insightful into some of the stuff that they're planning on, you know, coming out with later in the year and changing and sort of improving and stuff like that. So I think honestly this was pretty solid. There wasn't anything that really struck me as like bad. I'm not super sure how I feel about Tier 6 coming out this soon. Like I said, I just hope they don't make it even more tedious to upgrade characters in the future, with that being the last addition to the Super Awakening system. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Let me know what you guys think about the whole dev notes thing, if there's anything specific on here that you're excited for, or you don't like, or you wish that they would change, or if there's something that they could improve in the game that they're not talking about in this dev notes. Let me know. I'd be happy to hear you. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and if you guys are planning on seeing summons or anything like that for Margaret tonight, I will be live, so feel free to subscribe for that, or, you know, stay up to date, or whatever the case may be. So see you then.